Hey everybody, welcome to BrickVault. My name's Jack, and this is my top 10 list for the best LEGO sets of 2016. Now, warning, this is my opinion. I did base this off of as much information that I thought was logical and logistical, but if you've got a problem with this list, well, then just leave me a comment in the section below and let me know what you think about it. I mean, that's what it's for. Anyways, let's get right into it, starting off with number 10, Krennic's Shuttle. Now, the Star Wars theme had a lot of big set releases this year in LEGO, but unfortunately, some of those sets are actually competing for the other version of this 2016 list. Salt on Hoth. Anyways, despite that, there were some great Star Wars sets this year, and all the Rogue One sets I thought were excellent. This one just I thought was the best of them. The Krennic Shuttle is way cooler than the Kylo Ren Shuttle, for instance, that came out before. The design is a lot more logical, and we also get a handful of some of the best characters from the movie. By the way, the movie was excellent. It also has the best part-to-price ratio that was released within all of the sets for this particular release. Also, I like that those Death Troopers have cloth shoulder pauldrons, which kind of differentiate themselves a little bit from the ones we're going to be getting from the battle packs. It was a very excellent touch. Let's move on to number 9. Here we have the Fortrex. Remember, this is the first year of the Nexo Knights release, and within those first sets were released, this was pretty much the flagship to carry the new theme. If we're mixing futuristic stuff and old kind of castle classic stuff together, I think it only makes sense to have a version of a gigantic castle fortress as your main set, and what better way to have it than put it on some treads and basically make it a tank castle. I thought it was excellently designed, fairly priced, and I believe it was fairly well received by new fans. Nexo Knights is coming in strong with another wave for 2017. Number 8 on the list is an Ideas set. We got some great LEGO Ideas releases this year. Remember, these are sets that were actually created by LEGO fans, and the company actually took their designs, turned it into a set anyways. The number 1 LEGO Ideas design I thought was Maze by JK Brickworks. This is not the first LEGO game set released, but I think the most fun and one of the most effective. Not only was it well built and the play functions work relatively well, but it was made in a modular fashion that inspired a lot of custom builders to really kind of grab a hold of it. With all LEGO sets, there's always the case where people take the set and customize it and change it, which is sort of the nature of LEGO. But this is one of the sets that really actively encouraged the changing of the set right from the get-go. It pretty much rests right in the middle of our office, and I've played with it a lot. I've only actually managed to get through the maze without messing up exactly 2 times. Pretty hard. Anyways, number 7, moving down the list, is Firehouse Headquarters. This is that massive Ghostbusters set. It came out pretty much right after the Ghostbusters Ideas Ecto 1 set came out, and it remains one of the biggest LEGO structures ever created from a set so far. And there's a lot of things about the set that makes it very appealing, but I think it surfed along the line of being a very well-built structure with a lot of nice details, and it is also extremely accessible and has a lot of Easter eggs for Ghostbusters fans to discover. And at the same time as that, there's a lot of really good parts that are included, a lot of very useful ones, and the part to price ratio is extremely good. Now, all I have to do is build the darn thing and put it into the LEGO City. Let's move on to number 6. This is also a gigantic structure. We've got the Creator Brick Bank. Once a year, LEGO Creator puts out a brand new modular build, and this one for 2016 was one of the best ones yet. Not only was the external detailing extremely creative, I feel like the designers really are competing now to make the coolest and kind of most unique patterns on the outside of a building to just make it sort of the most visually interesting thing they can possibly do within a LEGO set, and they did an excellent job with this building. But of course, there were a ton of things to discover on the inside. We had an operational vault, as well as a pathway for a burglar to break in, and we literally had money laundering. Also, Creator modular sets are known for having an excellent part-to-price ratio with a lot of brand new pieces and extremely uncommon pieces molded in brand new colors for the first time. I already got a look at the 2017 modular Creator set, the Assembly Square, the other day, and you can bet that this one is also a runner-up for next year's top 10 list. Now, not every single set on this list is just going to be some massive release from LEGO Group. There were some excellent mid to small scale ones, and number 5 is one of those. This is the Speed Champion's Ford F-150 Raptor. Not only was this set a great deal, it really was sort of a good bang for your buck set, but the hot rod looks awesome. It was built so well, and I think this is the first time we've had a mechanism within the set where we could actually exchange the parts of a certain vehicle. We could change out the engine on the hot rod, and it finally felt like all those maintenance sheds that come with previous Speed Champion sets. It finally felt like this one actually had a good use. But on top of that, I think the unsung hero of this set was we also got an excellent build for the Ford F-150. Some might complain about the stickers, but the shape of the truck was awesome, and it had operational shocks. Now, if you thought that set was kind of contentious to have on the list, then you're really gonna have a problem with this one. Number 4 for me was the race cart. This is this Technic set, which is basically a great little go-kart, and I know a lot of you are thinking, why wasn't it the Porsche, or why wasn't it the bucket wheel excavator? Two gigantic Technic sets, both excellently crafted, lots of good things going for them, but there were a couple of tiny deal breakers in this sets which kept them off of the top 10 list. Namely, the bucket wheel excavator was just too big for the motor to really have any of those motorized functions work very effectively, particularly the scooping function, and the Porsche was probably one of the most technically savvy builds that anybody has attempted within a LEGO set, but the out-of-sequence gearbox within the instruction manual was kind of a ding, as well as the fact that you cannot see any of the cool internal functions on the inside of the Porsche. You pretty much just have to tell people about it, and the reason why the race cart is on this list instead is because it is the best example of showing the inside of a working gearbox for a LEGO Technic set. You can see it so clearly on the underside, and we also have the exposed singular piston to show the difference between neutral first and second, plus you can see just how the steering wheel is affecting the wheels to turn. This is the most informative Technic set that we've had, and it was also the best priced Technic set out of any of the releases this year. Okay, I hope that explanation helps you understand why I chose that set. Anyways, we're moving back to some big ones. Number 3 is the Disney Castle, and because this is a Disney licensed set and it's sort of one of the flagship sets that could ever represent Disney, the designers did a great job putting this one together. I mean, it really does just look like the classic Disney castle from any distance, and not only does it look wonderful from the outside, but they've managed to fit in a ton of Easter eggs, a ton of fun functions, and just kind of play homage to a lot of the classics from the different rooms in the back. The castle also has a lot of exclusive minifigs, excellently detailed. Most of the figs, I think, are to represent how the characters, the classic characters, are represented at Disney World. And honestly, the only ding I can really think of about this set at all is that it didn't include a Cinderella minifigure, but you can bet that we're going to be getting one in the next series of collectible Disney minifigs. I was actually at the LEGO store on a double VIP point day when I saw a guy buying 2 of these sets, and he was gonna turn it into a single castle where you could bisect it down the middle. Very ambitious, very awesome, but heck, we're in the top 3s now, so any set coming down the list is gonna be that way, which is the case, of course, for number 2. This is Big Ben. This is a kind of set that pretty much will only ever come out once in the history of LEGO, and so they did a very, very excellent job designing this set. Great custom print that makes up the clock there, and there is just all kinds of awesome panel detailing around the entire exterior of this build. This is one of my favorite sets on display within the studio, and I don't even know much about Big Ben historically. I've never been to the UK, but it's just such an excellent piece. I can't help but appreciate it more than just about most of the stuff that you see within the city. On top of that, I think it is worth mentioning that this is the best part to price ratio for any set that was released in 2016. Not including, of course, maybe those creative brick boxes where you just get a bunch of plain bricks at discount prices. But okay, so here it is, my number 1 set for the year 2016, and some of you might guess it based on just my personal biases, if you know what those are. This is the Batman Classic TV series Batcave. In my opinion, this is sort of like the ultimate homage set because it really does cater to the fans. All of the details for the instruments are hyper realistic. Of course, the detailing on the minifigures is just immaculate. The build for Batman's study in the red phone and the slide away bookcase is just awesome. We have the great printing that makes up the wall in the back, which has been used for some awesome custom mocks, I gotta say. And there is just no getting around the great build for the Batcopter and especially the Batmobile. This set not only represents all kinds of nostalgia for the actual fans of the show, but showcases wonderful building and just a very, very complete set. So there it is. That is my personal list for the top 10 best sets of the year 2016. And this was such a hard list to make. I'm looking right now at a clipboard with about maybe 30 or more sets that I wrote down as possible top 10s. And because hundreds and hundreds of sets were released from LEGO this year, as they are every year, many of them didn't make the list by just fractions of a percentage point, really. So the sets that you're watching fly across the screen right now are some of them that didn't make the list, and I've also left links to a lot of my favorite sets from the year 2016 if you want to go check them out on Amazon. Anyways, let me know what you guys thought about my list in the comment section below. I'm sure there's going to be quite a bit of contention, and stay tuned for the top 10 worst list of 2016 because that is coming up real soon.